After much discussion and consideration of point-to-point laser, microwave, hijacking local radio, and piggybacking satellite TV, we were in the unusual position of being at a loss. We know what we wanted to do, just not how to achieve it, and this continued for about a week. One idle Tuesday during lunch, one of our techs was browsing CCTV live feeds on YouTube, and like a clap of lightning, the idea was born. We would utilize a CCTV live stream and some form of transmission to act as the out-of-band route. But how would we transmit the data? Luckily, the data rate is very, very low, consisting of bytes per minute, instead of the usual mega or gigabytes, and was unidirectional one way, so it could be something very analog, but it took another full week to come up with the transmission medium. Whilst browsing hundreds, if not thousands of live CCTV feeds, we noticed in one, an unremarkable street with an equally unremarkable bus stop with what looked like a digital sign on the end. We spent some considerable effort trying to identify the company name from the bottom of the sign by enhancing the imagery and applying various filters, only to later notice that one of the ads loosely translated as "advertise here, call this number." Calling the number, finding a translator, calling the number again, this time with the translator. And after some negotiation, we purchased ad space on this specific sign for a period of time, and no, we didn't use a credit card. After receiving the credentials, we were able to access the sign's HTTP interface, yes, HTTP, and upload some sample ads, which were in fact just images that are played in a loop with various transitions. Some PHP code later, and we had the auto-upload working. Now we need to figure a way to transmit data from the sign and pick it up again in the CCTV live feed. After many attempts, we settled on an ad which consisted of a number of white squares on a black background with some unimportant company branding, which we totally made up. Streaming the CCTV image was simple. Converting it from frames to separate images, removing all the duplicate images, leaving only the changes, was a fairly simple, if not a laborious, coding job. Passing the images to determine the actual data and applying the error correction took a little more time, but again wasn't hard to do. From a technical point, we broke the image into separate areas, calculated the intensity of the area as an average, and then converted that into a simple 0 or 1. I know some of you may be thinking that we could have gone with barcodes, QR codes, and others with much higher data density, but this specific project required very low data rates. And it was important that the sign itself didn't draw unwanted attention, or more people would stand in the way. We tested the solution over several days, sending images to the display panel in small batches, recording them from the live stream, decoding them and comparing the data. A few changes were made to the batching and layout, and the intensity was lowered during the dark hours to improve capture clarity. We did occasionally have people standing in the way, but we wrote code to detect this in the error correction, invalidating the frame when it happened. Now we need to set up the rest of the route, which we did in 14 nodes between the A end and the remote server that was taking bit data, converting it into an image and uploading to the sign, and another 10 nodes from the remote server capturing the live stream, decoding and forwarding on the data to the B end. As we had no access to the A or B end, we were unable to test further ourselves, but our customer tested the connection themselves and were satisfied with both the performance and the security strategy. It's important to state that we do not know the purpose of the data transmitted, or indeed even the customer, as we were dealing with an agent, sometimes called a proxy, but we do know the customer was happy with the solution. Remember that this is an extreme case with uncommon prerequisites, and for most, a string of relay nodes and two-layer encryption is more than sufficient to prevent unauthorized interception. If you can think of a better way to achieve out-of-band communications, then please leave us a comment. If you found this interesting, then please like, subscribe, and so on.